So I sort of started down this rabbit hole because I found a camp brochure with a camp name that I just didn't know. And sort of whenever I don't know anything Jersey related, I go to Randy. And it was new to him too, so I figured I was onto something. So I connected with the local town historical society, and it was new to them too. And she said, "Did you look on newspapers.com?" And I said, "No, what's newspapers.com?" It seems to be owned and operated as a part of ancestry.com, and it seems mostly set up for doing genealogy research. This is sort of their homepage. And then these are the subscription options. I just did a 1 month guide just to sort of, check it out. What I thought I'd do is I'd show you some of the neat stuff that I've pulled up. South Camden boys get Minitek honors. And the neatest thing, I think, is that it lists the guys, the kids, and the adults that got the awards. This last sentence here, this assistant scoutmaster designed the monogram of camp letters used this year at Minitek. And this is the first year that I've seen, anything about the camp awards sort of mentioned. So, this is 33 scouts headed to the 37 Jamboree, from Camden County. So it talks about, again, who's going, and here's a couple, photos from camp.
Now, which camp is that with the cabin?
Camp Minitek.
That's a pretty serious camp with cabins.
Sort of a little bit north of Treasure Island.
Was that a 2-week camp or a 1-week camp? Do you remember?
Most articles talk about going for 2 weeks. So here's, a couple kids from Camden County at the 57 Jamboree. You can see the 57 JSP on their shoulders. Just really neat stuff. This is the first mention of camp I've been able to find, 1916.
Camp Ames.
All right, so that's a ridiculous amount of hits, right? So, I've been sort of, you can slide this date thing back. Boy Scouts, so you can go up to, say, 1910. So you can see just by putting sort of a date window, we drop down to about 150,000. And then you can pick the state you're looking for. Now we're down to 3,000. Put some quotes in there so it finds both words, not just camp. Now we're down to 48. If you know the newspaper, you can even narrow in closer.
Let's pick the one that's got honor medal. Emblem A. Let's scroll down, please.
Yeah, to all scouts for the best.
That was the first badge, and I've never been able to find one.
And a Camp Ames banner will be awarded to second place.
Now, how about Camp Ames? Is there any way you can see if their Order of the Arrow was in there?
Might be getting a little too specific.
Right here, the Madison Eagle. What year is this? 1931.
Once you find something you're interested in, you can sort of, you can clip it. And then the thing that I got in trouble with in the beginning was I wasn't naming them. So I just got like clipping, 1 through 100 that I've got to go back and sort of name them something so that I can find them again. I've been doing, just the headline and the date.
What about just searching like Boy Scout camp and do like from 1910 to 1925 and just see what comes up? In North Carolina, yeah.
Okay.
Here we go.
There you go.
Yeah, look at there.
That. Wow.
1911.
Wow. Isn't that amazing?
Some cut down trees.
No mention of a sort of an actual camp, though, is it?
Those early camps would just be the troop might have a camping spot, or they might have a camping trip that they went on, and it was like an annual thing in the teens in North Carolina that I've seen. Very rarely was there an actually established camp.
It
Let's
is.
see if we can find something a little bit more specific.
That is cool. And that kind of blows out that November 1911 was when the first scout troop started in Chapel Hill, because that's in March.
Most of these are out in the western part of the state.
Yeah, I think one reason is that we had a lot of private camps in that part of the state with rich kids coming in from up north. And I think that the mountains kind of fit in. Look, where are Wahissa boys? Pilot Mountain, 10 days.
That's out of Raleigh. That's the News and Observer. Upsider shoes were popular, weren't they?
Roanoke, that's down east. Roanoke Times.
Oh, what's that? At Camp Cameron.
Holy cow, 1913.
Well, so it says, guests at Army headquarters, so it's probably a military camp. And so I intend to try to, with some of the lists of who got the M award and who got the CM award, for that Minitek, I'm going to try to look them up and see if I can't find families and find out what they did with their stuff. Like great-grandfathers at this point.
What I always did, which, I've been told is not the way to dig, would look for the obituary, and I would just call the church and say, I'm looking for the family of so-and-so. He was involved in scouts. He earned this award. He did this. And they, and I would like to interview the family or scan any paperwork he had. And they were always like, oh, sure. That's so-and-so and so-and-so.
So this from 13 says plans for the annual summer camp. So
Oh, we got to figure out who this Ernest Carroll is. He's in a lot of these. You went to
Buffalo, is that something you guys know?
No, that's and it's at Chesapeake Bay. Look
Yep.
at that.
That's gonna be Virginia.
from Durham. Holy moly. They went all the way to the Chesapeake.
Look at that, near Norfolk. Some of the shore resorts.
Durham and
Yeah.
Winston were big tobacco money, and they loved the Scouts. They really did.
Typically, you think you might find more on newspapers.com or through your local archive.
If it was me, I would probably try newspapers.com first, because usually it's a lot easier to access. You can do it from home. I mean, our local papers and stuff, like I know that there's a Goldsboro paper and all that kind of stuff, but it's all the original hard copies. They haven't even been digitalized. So I would certainly try this first before I ever went and spent hundreds of hours with some librarian at the ECU library.
Well, I can speak from personal experience, going to the different libraries and looking up in the microfilm, not even digital, in microfilm, trying to find some of these old camps. I think the odds of finding something in newspaper.com is far greater than your local newspaper. But again, it could depend on how well the local newspaper has done its archives.
We have a historical place right down the street for Smithfield, just for this town. I remember going in there one time and I asked, hey, do you have any of this? And the guy was like, yes, we do. And it's in this paper from this time. I mean, he knew exactly all about local history and he could narrow it down really quick. So it never hurts to ask him.
And just so y'all guys know it, if you go into those sites, you can actually see what papers are in there. Sometimes they've got parts of New Jersey down to almost every newspaper, and then there are other parts of New Jersey that I guess you're going to have to go to that library to find it. And then, of course, New York actually has their own newspaper program that's free. Theirs is really good. North Carolina is, I think, mainly through UNC. The other thing I wanted to mention is that if any of y'all have kids that are students, the student cost for this stuff is nothing.
Yeah, one quick question. When you're researching this, is there a way you can put like a quote unquote wild card in there? Is that with the asterisk? If you weren't sure the spelling, but you knew like the first four letters, say Matagua in California, Mataguay, but all you knew was Mata, but you didn't know, was it Gway or Ga, if you put an asterisk, would that do anything?
There you go.
Okay. That'll work. Thanks.